Yo, I have no clue. My internet just went out. I saw my modem and it just went out. I don't know if anyone's here yet. Oh man, let me roll with it. I'm back. It froze. It just like I saw the modem and it just went out. Yep, it just went out. Like it went out everywhere. Oh man, Jesus! It just like went out. So anyway, it's cool. Most of the meat and potatoes we covered. I'm gonna if we're still there, if y'all coming in, I'm back. We're gonna end it. Damn, what is going on? I'm going to call Xfinity. Anyway, thanks for everyone who just texted me and said I was frozen. Thank you. You guys are awesome. You help. So thank you. Thank you. Anyway, we're gonna finish up. So let's finish up with let's do this. Right. Let's finish up with where we were at. I was trying to talk about the framing of the news. I swear to God, I'm not getting hacked. Let me not do that. I'm not gonna claim that. I'm not getting hacked. But talking about the GOP, got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people followed my page, and oh, is that what you call? I think I know what that's called. Okay. Anyway, no, Xfinity is. Oh, I don't know. I actually think Xfinity is okay. I don't know. I lived in Philly for 10 years, so Xfinity was the only thing we had. Like Xfinity was like it's the hub of whatever. The headquarters are in Philly for like Comcast and Xfinity. Anyway, and I got fiber. Oh, Jamie Lovegrove. You still can't see me? Can y'all see me? D, you saying you can't see me? 1 2 1 2. Oh, okay, D. Thank you though. Let me see. 1 2 1 2. Yep. Oh yeah. I had to log out and log back in. Thank y'all. Look at y'all tech support. All right, let me just round this out. So yeah, Live 5 News, they framed it as such. Tim Scott, only black GOP senator set to respond to Biden. Again, I think what that is that emphasis on him being black. So black is supposed to be, I guess, code for not as bad. Code for, hey, I've gone through racism too, but this is my conservative, moderate approach or whatever. So just watch out for that. And just messaging around that tonight. Like I said, I might, if my internet acts right, I might hop on tonight. South Carolina to introduce state workforce development funding. So again, watching that reporting there. Thank y'all for hopping back on. It's crazy because it seemed like whatever. I ain't gonna say that. All right, so I really wanted to show this. And for those who are asking about the Twitter feed that I follow in the morning, in terms of South Carolina political news, you want to follow Jamie Lovegrove, I think, and some other ones as well. But Jamie Lovegrove, I know that Caitlin Bird was supposed to, when she moved to the state newspaper, I think she was supposed to do the Enterprise beat, which I still to this day don't know what Enterprise covers. But she looks like she's kind of gotten back into politics as well. And when she left, she did text me about those changes, but I can't recall what her text message said. But Caitlin Bird is another reporter who I've seen up close, who I've had a rapport with, who does some good coverage of political news, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you, D, for being persistent. I appreciate you. Coming back. So this is yesterday, right? Just in SC House Judiciary Committee votes 13-9 in favor of state. This is the crazy stuff. Pass state penalty bill. Let inmates be executed by electric chair or firing squad or lethal injection if drugs are unavailable, which is really just weird. And then what was weird was, like, so Jamie will do these threads because he'll be tweeting in real time. But Justin Bamberg said some really interesting things. Right here. So the Fifth Amendment from Justin Bamberg would add the guillotine to the list of execution methods. Now, I think he did this ironically, or he's trying to be like funny. So it says, depending on who you ask, it could be a lot quicker and less painful. I guess he's saying, hey, we're going to go all in with the old fashioned execution methods, but I don't think this is funny. So he added guillotine to the list. And it was tabled. And then the Sixth Amendment from Justin Bamberg says would simply abolish the death penalty. He should have just did this. I don't know. It wasn't funny. I think he was trying to be funny. It says tough crowd today in committee. He says to some laughs, but we'll keep going here. So this was tabled as well. And just so y'all know, Justin Bamberg got some ambitions. Right? Got some ambitions. I'm leaving it right there, y'all. I'm doing that on purpose. He's got some ambitions. Keep your eye on Justin. And Democrat, you know. And oh yeah, here's some more reporting with from Joseph Craney. Make sure you check this out too, about how that false reporting that came out from the sheriff's department, a sheriff's office, the sheriff's loss department, about that soldier story, the black pedestrian getting pushed by the soldier. But something I tweeted yesterday. Oh yes, something I tweeted yesterday. Where is it at? It was a reply right here. So yesterday, Jamie Lovegrove tweeted, there you go, on a call with South Carolina reporters. Whip Clyburn says 2 other Democrats, in addition to Joe Cunningham, have told him they plan to run for governor. And so I tweeted, my money's on Mia and Justin. So Justin Bamberg and Mia McLeod, I think those are 2 names at least. Somebody else said James Smith is going to run again. James Smith didn't want to run the first time, so I don't see why he would. What the hell? Do you realize lethal injection causes suffocation and severe pain in the chest? Really? I'm sure it's. I think death penalty is disgusting. So we don't want that. No, you didn't miss Fernando. Fernando's on Friday. Fernando's on Friday. But yeah. So my money's on me and Justin. And I got an interesting like to this tweet. So guess who liked the tweet? So I think I might be on to something. So I always look at stuff like that. I might be on to something. So I don't know what y'all think. So so that, and I want to hop over here. Jesus Christ. That really just messed up my rhythm, like getting knocked off. It did. All right. So I want to play this one story about misinformation. This past weekend, and then I'm going to say bye. This past weekend, we saw a lot of, I read a lot of news, saw a lot of news about Joe Biden saying you can't eat red meat. It got fact checked like mightily. It's not true. I think there's questions and concerns about our consumption and how we raise beef and how it's not sustainable and how it impacts the environment. But no one is mandating that you don't eat red meat. So this is the conspiracy theory, right?
Information flying around these days, it can be hard to decipher the truth depending on where you get your information. Amna Nawaz breaks down how recent lies about President Biden wanting to end the eating of red meat reveal concerning
Marvin Pendarvis liked the tweet.
Realities about our political climate.
No burgers on July 4th. No steaks on the Barbie. I'm sure middle America.
So again, tonight, as Biden gives his address, this is the reaction that we're going to be looking for. This over the top, conspiracy laden response to even the most benign proposals. Look for this type of response. This really caught me off guard this weekend as I was cooking a lot of burgers here for last week. I just had a craving for like red meat, and I was like, what are you talking about?
America is just gonna love that.
The false story started last week, a day after the UK tabloid The Daily Mail published an article that claimed President Biden's climate plans could limit Americans to 1 hamburger a month. Former Trump White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow blasted Biden's climate goals as anti-beef. Kudlow and the Daily Mail article both cited a University of Michigan study.
Speaking of stupid, there's a study coming out of the University of Michigan which says that to meet...
I'm not trying to be crazy. Don't he sound inebriated though? Like he's slurring?
The Biden Green New Deal targets, America has to get this. America has to stop eating meat, stop eating poultry, fish, seafood, eggs, dairy, and animal-based fats.
But that is not what the study said. It actually found that reducing red meat intake could help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It was never tied to Biden's climate plans.
They want to control your transportation. They want to control your food.
But the article and Kudlow's outrage set off a right-wing media frenzy. The misinformation spread to
if Kenneth Starr is involved, it's got to be real.
Online news sites and people's Facebook feeds. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott and lawmakers even posted about it, falsely claiming Biden wanted to severely limit red meat. Amid criticism, Fox News issued a clarification about their reporting.
The data was accurate, but a graphic and a script incorrectly implied that it was part.
They don't want to get sued no more. Can y'all stand all these lawsuits? Because if you keep misrepresenting, it's not even. I just don't know how they can call themselves a news channel, especially if you're saying that people like old boy at night. Goodness gracious, what's his name? Oh my God, Google blank. Tucker Carlson, especially with Tucker Carlson saying that, I'm an entertainer, right? I'm not. How y'all calling yourself a news channel if you're going to constantly misrepresent the facts?
Part of Biden's plan for dealing with climate change.
Tom Cotton.
That is not the case.
The Beef Whopper shows how misinformation can quickly spread and take hold in the current political climate.
Canceling Dr. Seuss isn't stupid. It's intentional.
It's similar to the conservative uproar over the false stories of Dr.
It's so stupid. And this is working. They're raising a lot of money off these so-called culture wars. It's working. But this is what I want to hit. D, you mentioned, I know you talked about that other platform, I think on Facebook, the Rachel lady talked about what, you said misinformation about misinfo and that. But here's the piece right here from PBS NewsHour about it.
Conspiracy is just one of a number of myths circulating on the internet about President Biden's policies, including related to the pandemic.
And this is the thing I kind of want. I want people who watch me or consume anything that I might put out. It's hard. We have to choose our battles and choose very carefully. You can't. To me, you don't have to rebut some of the more asinine, far out, just conspiracy theories and reactions. I don't think that that's our role, is to constantly play. I always use the game whack-a-mole because I think that that's what it will become. If you go at one person, another one is gonna pop up, right? If I attack KKK Corey, Bear Spray Messenger is gonna pop up, or another iteration of that person is gonna pop up. So it's important to choose your battles very wisely but just understand the strategy, and don't engage in these bad faith arguments with people who are entrenched and who are very, very wedded to conspiracy, whether they're doing it as a part of an act or they're doing it to perpetuate the misinformation or disinformation, right? So choose your battles wisely. This is why I want y'all to get out of those comment sections. Stop hate watching and hate engaging shit that's just a cycle of nonsense, and social media gets us trapped in that type of engagement. No, you can name the other platform. I just couldn't remember. D. Yeah, gaslighting as finest. I just couldn't remember Rachel's last name or where you sent me. I think it was Facebook, right? A Facebook group. I just couldn't remember. I wasn't trying to be like that other platform. I just couldn't remember. Heady Shake. What up, Heady Shake? It's kind of hilarious that the actual fake news, right, that they're criticizing the Biden administration when Trump was literally lying every time he opened his mouth. Let me just continue to let this play for a little bit before I say arrivederci.
Here to explain how these falsehoods spread and how to counteract them is Graham Brookie. He's the director of the Digital Forensic Research Lab at the Atlantic Council. Graham Brookie, welcome back to the NewsHour. Thanks for making the time. The evolution of this one red meat story, right, where it starts with a piece of information, it's misrepresented, it's packaged as false claims, and then takes off online and in some media circles. Is this part of a pattern now? Have we seen this before with other issues?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is part of a wider pattern of mis and disinformation, domestic mis and disinformation that we're seeing accelerate for sure here in the United States. One of the interesting things about this case of misinformation about whether or not we're all going to be able to eat beef here in the near future is particularly interesting. One of the main promoters or influencers or amplifiers of this was Congressperson Lauren Boebert.
Yes.
What is interesting is that she has a significant constituency that is a ranching constituency. And so this case in particular is false. We will all be able to eat red meat. But it's interesting in that it's literally and figuratively red meat conspiracy theories
right,
for
Jessica?
her political strategy.
And one of the places we saw some of those claims being amplified was, of course, on Fox News. There's a clip I want to play from you from host Tucker Carlson, because there's this other piece we've seen in the explosion of misinformation online is the sort of brandishing of information as cultural warfare. We're talking during a pandemic. Masking has become a political issue. Last night on Fox News, host Tucker Carlson weighed in on mask wearing in public, and he said this.
Your response when you see children wearing masks.
So also, I want y'all to see this too. And I'm not encouraging you watch Tucker Carlson, but like if you maybe you watch a progressive commentator, like YouTube is filled with all those people, like the Young Turks, a bunch of progressive like commentators who might play a clip from Tucker. To pay attention, right? The Rational National, he's another one that I'm liking his content. He's one, like if they break, like don't watch Tucker Carlson, right? Don't give him the clicks if you can avoid it, but watch what he says and then watch KKK Corey, right? Watch KKK Corey and Bear Spray Messenger. It's almost word for word, just copy and paste, right? Because, you know, they can't come up with anything original. They have to get it from these, these online platforms, their signal threads and all that other stuff. Listen to this. Now, we just talked about masks and protests, right? This is all coordinated. And it's very, very, I'll tell you one thing, the GOP is very coordinated, and especially the far right, white nationalist extremists, terrorists like KKK Corey Allen.
As they play should be no different from your response to seeing someone beat a kid in Walmart. Call the police immediately.
A mask?
Contact Child Protective Services. Keep calling until someone arrives.
Did you hear this shit?
News. There's a clip I want to play from you from host Tucker Carlson, because there's this other piece we've seen in the explosion of misinformation online is the sort of brandishing of information as cultural warfare. We're talking during a pandemic. Masking has become a political issue. Last night on Fox News, host Tucker Carlson weighed in on mask wearing in public, and he said this.
Your response when you see children wearing masks as they play should be no different from your response to seeing someone beat a kid in Walmart. Call the police immediately. Contact Child Protective Services. Keep calling until someone arrives. What you're looking at is abuse. It's child abuse.
If somebody ever called the police on me and I was in charge of a child, like if I had a child, because y'all know I'm not a mother. If someone called the police on me and I knew who that person was, oh yeah, the police are going to arrest me for fucking assault. Like, are you fucking serious? And you know some Karen and some Craigs are going to be out there calling the police on parents who have their kids wearing masks. This has been, like, this is violent. And you want to talk about Maxine Waters talking about stay in the streets and keep protesting that the verdict isn't what we need it to be? You're literally telling people to call the police on parents. And like, I thought y'all were about small government. I thought y'all didn't want the police to be over militarized and in your business. I thought that's what y'all stood for. That is bananas. And I don't understand, like conservatives. Like, I honestly don't consume a lot of CNN like that. Like breaking news, of course, I need to know what's going on. It's accessible. It's where I go to, right? I honestly do try to read as much, like, I don't know. I try to read my news for a reason. Like, typically I feel like news, print media, it takes a different approach in terms of what news they dispense or they choose to showcase, all that, right? Whereas cable news is about clicks, sensationalism, fear, all of that on the right and the left. I don't understand why more conservatives are not like picking up a Wall Street Journal, which can be problematic. I'm not saying it's not, but I read the Wall Street Journal. I read the reporting. I don't know. I just don't know why people fall for this propaganda like this. Like, where are y'all getting y'all news and information from? Like, seriously. This is there gotta be somebody who watches it and go, that's too far. Why would I call the police on someone wearing a mask? We've been wearing a mask for a year. You don't know what that kid has going on, right? You don't know what that kid or that family has going on to where it might warrant a mask. Shit, masks aren't new, y'all. People were wearing masks before the pandemic for a number of reasons. I wish I would. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Graham, someone like Tucker Carlson, with an audience of his size, making a statement like that, likening it to child abuse, what's the impact of a statement like that?
Sorry to hear that, Jessica. That's sad.
Tucker Carlson has a nightly viewership of millions of people. And so first and foremost, that statement is false. Second, we're in the middle of a public health crisis in which the information that we need to make decisions about our own personal health is evolving. And so today, the CDC guidelines on masks evolved, it changed. It means that we have new guidance, and that's to be expected until this pandemic is over. It is not over yet.
No.
And so this information is less about getting the evidence right and more about signaling to an audience. And so when Tucker Carlson has stories like this, it's less about journalism and more about ideology and amplifying that ideology to a very significant amount of people across the United States.
Specific to Fox News, though, just to bring it back to that red meat story we talked about earlier, they did come out and then say, we're walking this back. Our script implied something that was not, in fact, true. What's the impact of something like that? Once the information is out there, once the misinformation is out there, coming back to correct it later.
Right. Well, the myth is always going to be reach more people. The original falsehood is always going to reach more people than the correction. And that's the ballgame here. Whenever you have a false narrative that gains a certain amount of traction, it will reach more people than all of the work that it takes to correct that falsehood or reach all of the people that the falsehood had originally reached. And that continues to be a major vulnerability during our public health response to.
I'm gonna stop it there because I invite you all to just go back to PBS NewsHour. I like sometimes how they take the segments out of the full broadcast and break it down. So this is 6 minutes and 39 seconds. Go ahead and watch the rest of this. This is fascinating, and I'm gonna look more into this Mr. Brookie guy. It rhymes with cookie, so I remembered his name. But it's really like there's a way to really handle this. First, you have to know what you're looking at. First, you have to know the nature of the beast. I'm gonna switch my camera view. You got to know like what you've got to understand the opposition, and then you can mount a defense. But honestly, I crave and I strive to be a person that when you come to me with the latest kookiest thing on social media that Lindsay is done or that Tucker is done, I crave to be the girl like, what happened? I have no clue. I want to be so disconnected from the distractions and connected to the issues. I want to be in touch with my community. I want to know my neighbors. I want to know I want to know about what's going on locally through what they might be going through, right? I want to just want to connect more with people. And we've just gotten so far, I sound like a kumbaya centrist Democrat, but it's just weird how like a lot of this misinformation is driving so much of our discourse to where we don't even talk to each other anymore. It's bananas. And even me, like I'll get caught up in that. There's some people I can't be around because it will literally cause harm to me and my family to be around you, especially Jessica. If it's somebody telling your kids, oh, you believe, questioning science and telling your kids that viruses aren't real or some shit, like you're not going to be around me and my family if you talk like that, right? So that's you want to reduce harm as much as possible, but this shit is just crazy. I crave to be the person, even though I do a morning show where I have to look at news and current events. But I crave to be a person who's so out of touch They're like, oh, for real, that happened? What? For real? Oh man, I didn't see that on the news. Like, I didn't see that on the local news. And then you've got the misinformation making its way to your local news with like the Sinclair stations, like WCIV, our ABC News affiliate here in Charleston. And you know, so you'll get those must runs and whatnot, and like, so propaganda creeps into your local shit. And that's why it's important to support people who are now using some of these platforms. Shout out to Dave Infante. I believe Dave has a Substack now. Paul Bowers has a Substack, even though Paul doesn't just do reporting. Paul does everything. Paul is a man of many talents, many habits, many hobbies, many interests. But shout out to people like that, former members and current members of the press corps who have created other platforms where you can get information and news and commentary that's not just about clicks and sensationalism and a GOP agenda or a left-wing agenda. I think that as we look at the new face of media and what's going on with print media, what's going on with how news is disseminated, we're seeing things like I'm trying to carve out my own lane. Shit, Roland Martin, creating his own news network. The Young Turks creating their own news network, right? Where 24 hours you're getting news, albeit left leaning and progressive. But I think that's where media is going. And I'm not a journalist. I like to dissect the news. But I think this is where media is going, honestly. Let me look at the chat before I say peace out and go eat my delicious breakfast that I'm fantasizing about. D, you said earlier people would rather be lied to than convinced. Yep, they've been duped. Absolutely. Kia, I think you co-signed that. Or you were co-signing something. You said exactly. There's a private school in South Florida who's telling teachers not to give vaccines. That's crazy. Paul is literally such an interesting dude. He is. Paul is like super interested, super committed to his community. Yeah. Yeah. Pinecrest, is that the one? Cardinal Gibbons, is that the school you're talking about? Wow. Can't be around students if they've been vaccinated. So bizarre. It's so bizarre. Anyway, and again, there are like legitimate reasons why some people can't get vaccinated. Like there are. Not talking about them, but for those who just don't believe in science, it's especially, and then people on the left who don't believe in vaccines, that really frightens me a lot. Just don't. I don't want measles, mumps, rubella outbreak, whatever the hell I got vaccinated for. I don't want that chicken pox and all this other shit, polio coming back. Like, we don't want that. It's like we forget. Like, there's a Kim Burns documentary that shows you how bad it was with polio or some shit, I'm sure. Like, come on. All right. What? Vax messes with young girl's menstrual cycle. What? Oh, what? Makes it come earlier? Get out of here. It's the hormones in that chicken. All right, let me stop. That was not. I'm not. It's just a joke. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I eat tons of hormones, unfortunately or fortunately. Nah, but y'all, thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for coming back. For those who could come back and didn't get frustrated by technology, literally just watch the light just go out on my my modem or whatever. Don't know why this is happening during my live stream. Not even using Wi-Fi. I'm using, like, I don't know what happened, but I appreciate you for coming back and breaking down the news tonight. I think I'm going to do it. It's going to be a late night, so I'm going to have to take a nap. I'm going to have to take a nap at some point today, but hopefully I could come back tonight as Tim Scott gives his response to Joe Biden. I'll probably jump in, of course, during Joe Biden, stay on for a little bit. You can drop in, drop out. You don't have to. I'm just going to be on, more than likely. And remember, Fernando's coming through on Friday at 8 a.m. I'm going to send out a newsletter, Charleston Activist Network newsletter. If you're not signed up, head to Instagram, the Linktree link in my bio. You can sign up for my newsletter there. Yeah, so you can sign up for the newsletter there if you're not yet connected. Don't know what I think. I got a bunch of followers. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a term for that on Twitch. what is it called? Oh my God. I think if you bring a bunch of people over to somebody else's platform, I don't think it was inherently bad. I don't know. But shout out to all the new followers. Yeah. So let's take away their milk rather than the hormone late meat and crazy. Y'all are so silly. Thank you for coming back, y'all. I'll see y'all again. Definitely tomorrow. Definitely Friday. But maybe tonight. Maybe tonight. I don't know. All right. Bye. Bye, Hetty Shake. Bye, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.